So this is the third lecture of EC 502 computer architecture. Now in the previous two class I have discussed the different history of the computers, that means the generation of the computers, how computers have been made and their classifications, how it is gradually made from the vacuum tubes, and later on the integrated circuit technology comes into picture, and computer becomes so much lightweight and its speed becomes very much higher, and it is capable of doing very higher level of computational tasks. Okay, so today we will discuss some characteristics of the computer, some features of the computers, and what is the basic block diagram of a digital computer, and description of each block, and then we will discuss the different layers of the computer systems. And if you look from the top how computer system actually looks, that we will discuss in this lecture. So, and if time permits, we will discuss some question related to that topic. Okay, so characteristics of the computer. Now definition of the computer you can easily seen from here, that the computer is an automatic machine. Obviously from the abacus, that means the first computer, you can say this is not the computer actually, but it can with the help of the human intervention, that is the vital point, with the help of the human intervention, the abacus and the Pascal engine, and also different step reckoner, Levin step reckoner, there is the different type of computer that human try to make at the outset, able to make the calculation with the help of human intervention. That means human must intervene and perform some amount of manipulation, then result can be got out. But from the Babbage difference engine, I have said that from the Babbage difference engine, the human intervention actually eliminated, and computer can perform the automatic tasks. So there we can see that the main features of the computer is that it can perform, it is a automatic machine, and automatic machine means human cannot intervene there to perform or help any kind of calculation of the computer. So computer is an automatic machine which is made up of electronic and electromechanical device, mainly electronic device, which process data. Process data means it can manipulate the data and get us the desired result what we want with high amount of accuracy, obviously. So there are four features of the computer you can see from here. First one is the speed. So it has a fast speed of operation of several million operations per second. So as the computer generation goes on, the speed of the computer going faster. In the very convenient form, you can understand this speed of the computer as all of you have understood that the what is 8085 microprocessor. So that microprocessor is actually perform with the help of the program, it can perform different kind of operation. Now the frequency of calculation, that means how fast the 8085 microprocessor can perform the operation at that time, and from now onwards 8086, 8088, later on Intel comes into picture, and Intel Pentium 4, like that, dual core processor, now i3, i7, all of the processor series that goes from 8085 practical computer system depends on one thing, that means its speed is actually enhanced, that means calculation speed is enhanced. And from now onwards we are still in a age where research is still going on to make the speed of the computer very fast, so that we can get the result with a blink of an eye. Next, the accuracy. So accuracy, next features of the computer is accuracy. So it is capable of performing calculations to an extent of 64 decimal accuracy. Now this can also be understood with the help of today's computer. Now in the today's computer, in the Pentium 4 processor, or you can see these two can be identified very much easily, that you can identify what is 32-bit machine. Okay, what do you mean by 32-bit machine, what do you mean by 64-bit machines? Now 32-bit, 64-bit you have seen in your practical life computer, but in the case of 8085 processor, This machine is called the 8-bit microcomputer system. This is the 8-bit microcomputer system, and from that onwards the computer system goes on and it becomes very much fast, and also the number of bit performing that the operation, the handle of the computer, that means in the 8085 processor at a time 8 bit can be handled. Okay, that means you can add 8 bit data with an 8 bit data. You cannot add 16 bit data with a 16 bit data. That can be performed with different kind of programming technique, or you can break the 16 bit with 2 8 bit, then you can perform the operation. But as it is goes on 8 bit to 16 bit, then 32 bit machine. In the 32 bit machine you can understand what do you mean by the accuracy. That means in the 8085 microprocessor 8 bit operation can be performed very handy, but as the generation goes on 32 bit machine means that it can handle operation 32 bit at a time. 64 bit machine, you can see that the i5 processor 64 bit machine, so it can perform at a time 64 bit of manipulation. Okay, not more than that. If you want to perform more than 64 bit, then you have to break the operation with a 64 bit and perform the operation. Okay, next, the storage. So it is capable of storing large volume of information. In the 8085 microprocessor the storing capacity is very much less. Now as the generation goes on, the storing capacity is also increased day by day. Okay, so that is the main features of the generation of the computer. Now the decision making. Now decision making, it is capable of decision making according to the supplied information. That means what information we want to get and what information we have to supply it. The computer makes, this is the computer, here the information we have supplied and here the information we want to get, and the computer makes some amount of decision. According to that we are getting the result. So that is the point number 4, decision making. Okay, next, digital computer. So most of the modern day computers that are actually the digital computers, that is the enhanced version of the analog computer. Now the analog computer senses the input signal whose value keeps changing continuously. Now the most of the today's computer is the digital computer. Now the analog computer, previously there exists the analog computer. Now the analog computer actually senses the signal which are analog in nature. Analog in nature means the signal may be like that, practical signals like that. Okay, but nowadays digital computer comes into picture, and this digital computer cannot understand this analog signal. We have to perform different kind of operation on this analog signal. This is your analog signal. Okay, and you have to perform different kind of operation upon that analog signal to make it digital. So whatever signal we are get, so this can be your digital signal like that. Okay, so this is your digital signal. Now that digital signal is actually understood by this digital computer, and again whenever it prints out the result or gets the results out, it actually perform again the reverse operation. That means this digital signal converted back into the analog signal, so that human can interpret the result or understand the result. Now if the computer perform the or outputs the audio signal in the form of the digital, no human ear can understand this. So you have to perform some kind of operation to make this digital sound to the analog sound, so that human ear can actually senses the audio. So that is the main features of the digital computer. And also the digital computer, this is the digital signal, but this digital signal has different kind of levels. Okay, this is not the binary signal, but this is digital signal. Okay, now today's computer only understands 0 and 1, that is the binary computer. So binary computer, there is 2 digital levels only happens. So if there is a signal exists or there is 0, that is the main thing. Okay, so that today's computer actually the binary depends on the binary number system. In the binary number system only 2 digits are present. First one is 0 and second one is 1, and depending on these 2, today's digital computer works. And information represented in digital computer in group of bits, obviously because digital computer depends on the binary digits, and also suppose there is a combination presented like that, so that information is called the group of bits. So if the machine is 32-bit machine, then the information represented, this bit may be extended to 32. So that group of bits is actually representing some amount of information, and if we vary the group of bits, that means 2 to the power 32 combination can be possible with the help of this 0 and 1 variation. So with the help of the variation, we can represent different variation, different data. So that is the main features of digital computer. And also by using different coding technique, group of bits can be made to represent discrete symbol such as decimal digits or the letters. What I have said that if there is two numbers 00, 01, 10, 11, 4 combinations are possible. Now these 4 combination computer can understand if this is a symbol A, if this is symbol B, if this is symbol C, if this is symbol D, like that. And like that, this with the help of this 32 combination, 2 to the power 32 combination, we can represent any numerical digit, any special character, any English alphabet, like that with the different combination. Just I have said that if there were 2 bits, then we can, with the help of these 2 bits, we can represent 4 combination, and with this 4 combination, the computer can understand that this 00 can represent 1 universally, this 01 can represent B, like that. And suppose with the help of this 2 to the power 32 combination, we can obviously represent more amount of data or more amount of variations than this 2 bit. And if the machine is 64 bit, then again we can represent more amount of information what 32 bit machine can handle. Okay. And this is the computer system actually made up. Okay. So your computer system, first this is your computer system. This computer system actually made up of hardware, software and human resources. Depends on these 3. Otherwise this computer system does not work. Okay. So computer system depends on hardware. What you know what hardware means. We will also discuss what hardware means. Next is your software. All of you also know what software is. And human resource means the people who can operate on this computer to get a good amount of result what we want. This hardware is actually composed of memory, ALU, arithmetic logic unit, control unit, IO unit. Those who are familiar with microprocessor can understand all of this term, the what hardware is actually composed of. Okay. So this is the description of hardware. So first description of hardware is memory. Obviously memory, because without memory we cannot store data. If we can't store data, then we can't store the program. All of you know that in a 8085 microprocessor, whenever we want to try addition program or the subtraction program or the multiplication program, then you have to write some amount of machine language code or the assembly language code, rather than it is the upper version of the machine language. So you have to write some amount of assembly language code in 8085. Okay. So with the help of this program, we can perform the addition operation, subtraction operation, like that. So what memory actually does? Memory actually store the program. If we don't have memory, then we can't store the program, and if we can't store the program, we can't get the result out of this computer system. So memory is a very vital point of a computer system. Without the memory, the computer system does not work. Okay. So it store the program, it is written that it store the program as well as data. These programs I have already explained. What do you mean by this? Data means, data is actually means, suppose we want to supply the we have written the program for addition. Suppose this is A and this is B and this is C, result. So that data is also to be stored within this memory. Otherwise we can get the our result back. It will be displayed some amount of data with a particular memory location. Suppose 2 and 3 is added and result is 5, and this 5 has to store within a memory location, so that we can access that memory location and get back our result. Okay. Next is arithmetic and logic unit. So arithmetic and logic unit is actually a main processing unit which perform the arithmetic tasks as well as other data processing tasks specified by control unit. That means the logical tasks. The ALU and the control unit are the main constituent part of central processing unit. Okay, that means the ALU and the control unit together comprises of central processing unit of the computer. What do you know? All of you know what do you mean the central processing unit. Another component of the CPU is register unit, collection of different register used to hold the data or instruction temporarily. Okay, that means the computer memory, whatever the memory computer actually possesses, that memory is actually stored the output result. Okay, actually stored the output result and the program plus output result actually stored within the memory, but within that program there is different subdivision of data. Okay, that subdivision of data, suppose you want to add two 16-bit number. Now these two 16-bit number first divided into two 8-bit number. This is again divided into two 8-bit number. Then you want to add these two and store the result. Then we again add these two. Add this. Suppose these two are added, and we get the result as well as the carry if there is any carry present. Next we want to add this with the carry and again store the result. And finally, if we want to represent these two result finally into a memory location, so within that, this is called the subdivision of data, and this subdivision of data result has to be stored temporarily during the execution of program. That data has to be stored within the register. This is the internal register of the computer system. In the 8085 you have seen there is a register accumulator B, C, D, E, H, L. There is a different register exists in 8085. They are used to store the data temporarily during the execution of program. So that is also a part of the central processing unit. Okay, so next is control unit. So control units actually supervise the flow of information between various units. So whatever data has to be flow from one location to another location, so that is in the 8085 microprocessor, the control signal is read signal or the write signal. So whenever data has to be written, this control signal has to be generated so that microprocessor can read the data, and whenever write operation is needed, then write signal is enabled by the control unit so that microprocessor can write the data to the memory location. So that is the function of the control units. Next is your input output unit. All of you know keyboard, mouse, scanner. So keyboard is an input, scanner is an output unit, or printer is an output unit. Okay, this unit receives the computation and displayed on the monitor, and user gets the printed result. So printer is a very common example of the output unit. Next, software. Now the software consists of instruction and data that the computer manipulates to perform various tasks. A sequence of instruction is called program. I have already said that in the 8085 processor you have to write some amount of program so that you can get some amount of operations. So that is called the program. Software can be applicable to software or the system software. There is two different application of this software, that is one is software and another is system software. Application software and the system software. Now the application software is the two subdivision of the software. Application software is a program. Obviously software is a program. Okay, suppose Microsoft Office, this is a software you can install in your machine. So beneath that there is a program written in some amount of C language or the Java language like that, so that you can graphical user interface you are seeing the Microsoft Office. So application software is a program used to solve a particular application oriented problem. Okay, like that your railway reservation system program, your editor program means your notepad or the wattpad, like that editor program, or the your music player. That is the application oriented program. Program is written and some software is designed depending on the program. Application is designed. Okay, exe file. So that file is run for a particular operation. And system software is a program used to manage an entire system. Okay, so operating system, you can know that Windows 8, Windows 10, so that are used to manage whole computer system. Obviously program is written behind that. Compiler, there is a different driver for the audio, video, USB, like that. This is the system software. Okay, next, this is the block diagram of the computer. You can say this is the data line, this is the control lines. So this is the CPU. CPU obviously consists of control unit and ALU, arithmetic logic unit. Control unit provide the different kind of signal, and ALU is obviously connected with the memory, arithmetic and logic unit. Without data it cannot perform any kind of operation, so that it is connected to the memory. And control unit, I have said that whenever data has to be read from memory location, so control unit must provide read signal, that is input is provided, so that it is providing the signal to the input to the output. Whenever write, you have to write the data to a memory location, so output port. So control unit must provide the signal. Also control unit must provide the signal to the ALU also and the memory also, because if you want to read the data from memory, then also. So control unit actually supervises this data flow, supervises the data flow between the each and every block of the computer. So that's why it is connected to this input, memory, ALU, output, all of this. Okay, and ALU is also connected to the control unit, otherwise it cannot get the data. Okay, whatever you have this unit performs, control unit is actually providing the signal what has to be done. Okay, so that is the main block diagram of the computer. Next, the human resources. Human resources means it is the manpower and the skilled personnel available to perform the operation. So this is your hardware, this is your software, and this is your programmer. Okay, software, hardware, programmer interface. In a very simple term, you can know that whenever you are the resource, human resource, computer is actually designed already. There is application program, Microsoft Office, there is different hardware system of the computer, and you are the supervisor, sit at the computer system. So you are providing some amount of editing operation in a Microsoft Office or the Microsoft Word, and depending on your supervision, then with the help of a hardware and software and the computer system, computer is providing some amount of result to you. Obviously you are the one who are providing the instruction how to perform different kind of software with the help of the hardware and the computer system to provide again back the result to you. Okay, so this is the human resource that must be required to perform high level of operation out of the computer system. Okay, and here two definition is also written, what do you mean by computer architecture and what do you mean by computer organization. So I have already discussed that. And this is the layers of the computer system. Layers of the computer system, this is the OS, BIOS, hardware, application program. Okay, and this is high level language program, compiler, machine level language program. So computer does not understand the high level language program, that means whatever you are written in your C, C++ or Java, that cannot understand by the computer. There is a compiler resides in every computer that has to be translated this information into machine level language. Machine level language means only understands zeros and one. Every instruction has to be converted to zeros and ones with the help of the compiler. And if you want to write the program with the help of this, suppose in the microprocessor you have written the instruction like add accumulator, like that. So that instruction is familiar to human and you can actually memorize that instruction, but this instruction cannot be written by the understand by the computer. So that instruction has to be passed to the compiler or the interpreter, you can say that, and that instruction has to be converted back to machine language. Machine language means nothing, that this add has to be converted to combination of zeros and ones, like that, this instruction, and computer then understand according to the combinations available or the input given to them already during the time of construction, computer perform the operations. Okay, so computer system can be viewed as a collection of different layers as shown in figure. The innermost layer is the hardware part. You can say this is the hardware part, which actually comprises RAM, ROM, or like that. Hardware part is consist of CPU, main memory, input output devices, secondary storage, okay, hard disks. A programmer writes the application program in a high level language. Obviously I have said that compiler is a system program which converts the high level language into the equivalent machine level language which understand by the computer. Next, the operating system. The operating system is a set of program. Obviously this is a program, I have already said previously. Operating system is a system software. Okay, so operating system is a set of program and utilities which acts as the interface between the programmer and the computer hardware. Okay, the following are the main function of the operating system. First one is your managing the user program. It is used to manage the user program. Okay, it is used to manage the user program, and it is used to manage the memories of the computer. Also it manages the memories of the computer. Okay, so whatever the memory of the computer, this is actually manages by the operating system. Next is manages the IO operation. Obviously the IO operation is manages by that. And next, the security of the computer. It cannot be infected by any kind of virus. That has to be supervises with the help of this operating system. Okay, and also BIOS. The full form is BIOS is basic input and output system. BIOS, basic input and output system. Okay, this is also a program consisting of IO drivers which are different program to perform various IO operations on behalf of various peripheral devices attached to the computer. When a programmer needs an IO operation, it calls this program. Okay, and BIOS program are basically program embedded on a chip called firmware. Okay, when the first power is on in the computer, this program runs. Whenever you switch on your computer, this BIOS program is actually first runs. The main task of the BIOS is to identify, initiate the computer hardware like hard drive, keyboard, mouse, and this prepares the computer to work by loading the operating system into main memory or from the hard disk into the main memory from the hard disk. Okay, it loads the operating system to the main memory from the hard disk. Operating system is loaded in the hard disk and it actually loads the operating system into the main memory from the hard disk. This process is known as booting. All of you know that. In summary, BIOS can be said to be a coded program or the embedded on a chip. It is a chip level program embedded on a chip or firmware that recognize and controls the various peripheral devices that build up the computer. So first you can understand that the BIOS is the first program that after switching on the computer, BIOS is the first program that runs on the computer, and it actually means a create a bridge between the hardware and the software of the computer. It loads the operating system from the hard drive to the main memory, and then operating system takes control of the system computer. Okay, that's all.